Good morning, everybody. Morning, Anne.
Morning, Melanie.
Thank you for coming, everybody. And we would like to take full responsibility for not realising that it was Melbourne Cup Day. So I'm amazed that some people have actually turned up, but Anne thought she would compensate by giving you her best Melbourne Cup goer impression.
Yes, so we've got some outfits. We have a hat here for Melanie for Melbourne Cup Day. Here's a hat for you, Melanie. And anybody out joining us that haven't got a Melbourne Hat Cup, here's a spare one for you. So yeah, we're into having some fun here at Global Training. You're going to discover that we are very real people, but have a passion for training and upskilling your people and the success of your business.
And we are going to teach you something useful, but Anne just can't help herself.
No, because we need lots of jokes and fun. Everyone needs an opportunity to smile, and it's a great opportunity we'll be talking about today. So our Melbourne Cup jokes from Melanie and Anne to be going. Okay. Not that we know absolutely anything about horses, Melbourne Cup or anything, but however, I put a bet on a horse to come in at 10 to 1, and it did. Unfortunately, all the others came in at 12:30.
Oh. You know, you're going to clear the webinar before you can start.
All right, one from you, Melanie, and we'll do some more.
And then we'll do some actual content. Which one am I going to pick? I put a bet on a horse that had excellent breeding. After the horse left the starting gate, he stopped and closed it behind him.
Oh, so if you happen to be going to the luncheon today, or if you happen to be one of the Melbourne people that have got a ticket,
you can borrow our joke.
You can borrow our jokes, and let's hope your horses come in better than the ones that close the gates and come in at come in at 10 to 1. So
a couple of quick housekeeping things just before we start. I'd be very sad if the audio is not working and they missed our good joke. Could somebody just pop in the chat and let us know that you can hear us, first of all, and if you would like to put in the chat what state, as in location, not as in half drunk in the bar. Thank you, Kate, can hear us.
Hi, Kate.
Pop the state in that you're in, and then we'll make sure when Anne talks about stuff that she covers things that are relevant and useful to you. Okay, so Kate's in Queensland. If nobody else answers it, we're going to be talking to Kate.
Hi, Kate.
We do have a whole bunch. We actually have, oh yeah, the Queenslanders can all hear us. Great. Thank you, guys. Okay, just a couple of quick housekeeping things, and then I'll introduce Anne properly. So Anne Botting is our presenter, and we're going to introduce her and her company in a moment. Anne's going to cover the opportunities to basically use this new government wage subsidy to get some really good quality training for your people and have some money left over, in a nutshell. And you probably will have lots of questions along the way, because some of it can be a little bit confusing. Anne's really good at explaining stuff and making it unconfusing. But just drop your questions into the chat or the Q&A, whatever, doesn't matter which one you use. I'll keep an eye on that thread, and I will let Anne know as they come up. If I see a question and I know that she's going to cover it, I'll hold on to the question until then. Otherwise, but we will make sure that we stay on at the end until we've answered all the questions, and then Anne will clear the room by telling another joke at the end.
And if you decide to hang around with us as a company, you're going to have lots more bad jokes on all of our newsletters and other things as well. But and there's actually some crazy people out there that actually really like our jokes. So.
Anne's having an ongoing wrangle with her husband about whether the jokes are good or bad. He's the sensible one who runs the training. Okay, so we have people. Thank you, Jim can hear us too. Okay, so we've got Queensland, WA, New South Wales. If there's anyone in any other states other than those three, just let us know. Otherwise, we'll get started. So Anne, would you like to introduce yourself and your organisation?
Yeah, hi. So this is myself and my husband Shane. Shane's our training manager. We started the company 16 years ago, and are still here. We haven't fought too much, and we've got sort of 40 team members with us now. We have the best trainers. They're just so passionate about their people and their topics that they train in, and we are just so privileged to work with the team that we do. So yeah, why do we stick around? Because we have a wonderful team. Basically, we've got over 1,000 students around Australia, and our students just love the trainers. They love their completion coaches. They love learning new things, and they just send us raving reviews all of the time as to the difference that the course has made for them. And so here's just one here. came in during the week. I just wanted to say once more, thank you. I've thoroughly enjoyed this training. I've learned so much and much more confidence and in my ability and my skills. You guys are truly inspirational and professional in your roles.
That's really
so
nice.
It is. There's some really lovely things. Our students just love, generally love their training. Because of that, and the trainers, we've got an over a 77% completion rate. Generally speaking, you're going to find other companies are going to be around the 40 or even 13%.
Yeah, less for online learning.
Yeah, so ours are online, but they're on over the phone and things, and they've just got the opportunities to just get all the support that they need, and the trainers believe in them.
And you do have quite a unique delivery model, which you will touch on.
Yeah, we will. We'll cover.
We provide a lot more support to the students than most RTOs.
Yeah, and so we've got graduation coming up. Again, we have 3 graduations a year, and so we've got another one coming up on the 19th. So we're getting all of the stories and some videos and photos back in now of people again going, oh, it's graduation time, and so they're excited to finishing it. So we're going to be backtracking to that because we're going to be talking about your people and how they've got the opportunity to experience what our current students are doing now.
So it's interesting because when you first ran one of these training sessions 3 months ago, people had no idea what this system even was, this whole program. Now people are starting to see it working. They're seeing other people they know using it, and they're more aware of it. What we might do is ask anyone in the chat if you've already heard of BAC or Boosting Apprenticeship Commencement or the Wage Subsidy. If you already know a bit about it, can you just say in the chat yes that you do? And if you don't know anything at all, say no, and that will give Anne an idea of how much previous knowledge or how many misconceptions people might have as well.
Yeah, there'll be a few of those around as well. So the opportunity is really exciting. Let's go through what it is. This will give you an overview, because then when we start working with you individually to make it work for your company, then what will happen is we can all say, great, we've covered this in the webinar, you've got an overview of how it works, so let's talk about you then. So it saves lots of time, and we can do things.
Okay, so far we've had a few people respond, 1 yes, 2 no's. So.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So it's called Boosting Apprenticeship Commencement. It's called BAC, but it's got nothing really to do with apprenticeships, because it covers traineeships, it covers people. So basically,
people think of apprentices as traditional trades. It's not just
so don't think about that. Don't think about young people, 16-year-olds. Think about your everyday employees. Think about somebody of a lovely age of myself or younger. Comes in. So anyone from your 28-year-olds to your 55-year-olds, this all covers. So what it is the government has looked at having to, as we're coming out of the pandemic and of all of our economic issues, that we really need to boost employment rates here in Australia, and we need to boost our skill level.
Interestingly, most people know nothing about it at all. So
okay, that's fine. Okay,
so those of you that do know a little bit, sorry, we're going to start at the beginning.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So it's a wage subsidy. It's available for any business, any not-for-profit, or any council. So if the only people that really are not eligible to access this program are state government and federal government. So if you're state or federal government employees or companies, then won't be for you, but stick around, enjoy my joke at the end, and then recommend this to all your friends at the barbecues. So, okay. So what it is it allows you, for any new people that you put on and some of your existing workers potentially, to receive up to a $7,000 wage rebate each quarter. So at the end of each quarter, I'll cover at the end what happens, but basically somebody that's on the program, at the end of the quarter, you will then pop up their wage slips into a system, sign a thing to say that you're actually interested in doing the training, not necessarily just to get some money. And you will actually, and then the government rebates into your bank account half their wages up to $7,000. And it can be for new people or part-time people, part-time or full-time.
And it's interesting that it's really gaining momentum as more and more people see friends who've got businesses who are using it and stuff like that.
And we've sort of got people have told their accountants, so the accountants are now ringing in saying, oh, how does this all work? Because I've got other business owners as well.
Okay, so a bit of background as to how it came about for people who don't know.
So when JobKeeper was coming to the end, the government, and there was lots of flaws in JobKeeper, as you're hearing now, the government goes, what can we do? How can we put this out to boost employment, but skills at the same time? So they put out a wage subsidy for 100,000 training places. It was introduced in October last year, so which is 12 months ago now, $2.8 billion. And so what happened was 7,000 places got taken up really quick.
70,000.
70,000 got taken up super duper quickly. The government went, this is
because they made, well, you might consider it a mistake where they basically went, every employee can do it. Doesn't matter whether they've been in the field forever or they're new. And so the big companies just went, yeah, thank you, we'll have that.
Yeah. And so then the government went, right, whoop, whoop, brakes on, and then re-released it again. So they've added up to another 170,000 more places in the budget this year, and with an extra $2.7 billion. So if you're not accessing part of that $2.7 billion at the moment and you're eligible for it and legitimately, you know, got some people and want to upskill your people, then yeah, take advantage and we will help you walk through the process.
Okay. But they've been narrowing down existing worker options,
yes. So yeah, it's good to go for all new workers. We'll explain this, but the existing workers, again, it's building momentum and they're going to go, squeezing it down again. So 2 messages at the moment. Get a very quick understanding of this. Work with us so that if you're interested, you get to take advantage of it.
Okay, so it's beneficial for everybody.
Yeah, for the government, the economy, the employees, and you as an employer.
So why did the government do this? Why would they throw a whole bucket of money at this?
Okay, and we do thank them for it. Okay, because they're looking at boosting the employment again. Yeah, now, when they started this 12 months ago, you know, we had no idea where we would be now in the 12 months, but in 12 months' time, the economy is opening up again now. And so there needs to be, unfortunately, that 12 months went a lot longer than what the government was expecting. And they've really got to look at everybody, you know, getting back into the workforce again now. And so it will really help people as we come out of lockdowns to think about putting on some new staff. Okay, so it does upskilling your people. Yeah, we've got to look, it's a different world out there. It's a different employment situation. Your employees are looking for things different. Customers are looking for things different. I watched a webinar from Janine Ellis 2 weeks ago, and it was looking at what is the customer experience wanting now after the pandemic when everyone's been at home and shopping online compared to what they wanted beforehand.
And she said they want to listen to bad horse jokes on Zoom.
She said no, they're actually looking for memories, and you had to create a really strong first memory and a last memory, and it was kind of, the experience has changed. So yeah, it was, and workplaces have changed. Good luck at getting people to come to work on a Monday and a Friday now, if you can get them back into the office. So we're looking at lots of different things in our training as to being ready for people and these new workplaces and what customers are after this as we come out of lockdown.
Okay, so government, it stimulates the economy, it creates jobs, creates skills, all that good stuff. Now, why, if for the employers on this call, why would they do this? What's in it for them?
Okay, employees like to know that you're actually working for a progressive company, and they want to know that, you know, you are the person that they want to choose. We're going to look at examples later of how many people are out there looking for jobs. It's actually,
or how many jobs
are being advertised, yeah, and what. So it's a way for you to stand out being different. As your employees learn and do the training with us, they're going to be working on your policies, procedures and systems. And so it's like a really great 12-month induction program for them. So they're going to be trained in your methods. You will have input into the training as well of these people. You will keep them at your front of your mind because they have been new. And so it builds a lot of loyalty with your new team as well and your existing team.
And the skills that they're learning, they can improve the business.
Oh, absolutely. And be thinking with this whole new mindset that is totally different. You know, go back 2 years, these things weren't being run by everyone on webinars today.
And of course, there's a little bonus if you get half their wages back.
Yes, and there is a bonus that, yeah, you'll get half their wages back. Yeah, so there is that $28,000. You know, we say thank you very much to the government for that. But yeah, the benefits that will last for 12 months. It will allow you to bring their staff on, but the training that they're going to receive will actually extend on. It'll last forever. Now,
one of the things that people go into, yeah, but my employees don't want to do courses. Like, what's your experience in terms of do employees want to do courses?
A lot of them, absolutely. And I get a lot of 60-year-olds that are still wanting to train and learn because they realise that it is a new world out there as well. And they want the pat on the back. So if they've got experience and they can map it into your things, they love to get it. Come to graduation, have a look, yeah. Just read the feedbacks that we get all of the time. Meet some of our graduates at graduation coming up. Yeah, for them, a training opportunity is a great opportunity. But for them also, if they're coming into a new job, because it's going to be at least a 12-month contract on this that they're going to be signing up with you for, it reduces the thing of their fear of being that last on, first off, that if we happen to go back into lockdown again, if the economy changes, that that fear's not there for them, because they know that their job should be fairly secure for that next 12 months, which if you take off pressures off people, then they've just got extra time to dedicate into your workplace, and they do perform much better. And it just allows open discussion. It allows you to be involved in their training. There's just so many different things that they enjoy about it as well.
Okay, so let's talk about the how. The details. So
who and
who's
how
eligible and
so the company, businesses, organisation, local councils, all states, all industries, any employer, any size, any industries, at any location. So if you tick all of those boxes, your business is eligible. Then your people, Australian citizens, Kiwis that have been here longer than 6 months.
Well, that's all of us.
That's all of them anyway. Yeah, Melanie's Kiwi. They're all here and stuck at the moment. And any of the classes that have PR. So if you've got visas, and just send them in and we'll let you know whether those people are sort of eligible for those ones there. But keep in mind, this is not just for your junior staff. Professionals and experienced staff are eligible. So one of the companies that we're working with some of their engineers.
And they're doing project management.
Project management, leadership and management, and things like that. So it doesn't matter whether you've got previous qualifications in the past or not, as long as you have not done the exact same qualification. So if you've already got a certificate 4 in business, then you're not going to be eligible to do a certificate 4 in business.
But you could perhaps do a diploma or something.
You could do a diploma, or you could do a certificate 4 in project management practice and be a great team member in the office.
So feel free to drop your questions in at this point if you're trying to figure out whether you're eligible or whether your business is eligible.
Yeah, and we also have a quiz that you can put, you can do as well. That'll help you sort that through.
So not eligible, just government.
Yep, just the government can't pay themselves. So.
But councils are eligible.
Yeah, councils are eligible. Great opportunity. We're working with some fabulous councils around the country. Some that we've been working with for the last 10 and 12 years are back on with us with students. So yeah, that's really great.
Right. So I know you had to throw this calculation in, and you know that the money's not the main driver of this, the training is, but if you can get really good training and get some money, that's the reason that the federal government put this thing together, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, so if you've got 5 participants, so if you're looking at putting on 5 people between now and the end of March, $111,000. You might suddenly have a training budget that you haven't had before, or a budget to do some new projects at work.
So you could spend that 111 on courses that are not included in this program, or things.
Or you can make you can make a donation into your community or overseas. That would make a difference as well.
And now that is worst case scenario if you have to pay for course fees, which you'll explain in a minute. A couple of interesting statistics here that you just wanted to mention.
Okay, so yes, don't just think of it as your young people. Most of the people, like 20% have been over 35. 40% are in small business. So if you're a small business, just keep this open in mind. We will be able to give you an account manager at the end that will actually be able to brainstorm with you as well, and things. So 60% not in traditional trades. We'll show you some of the businesses that we've been working with and have got approvals through for. Okay, so what's happening out there in the job market as of yesterday? So there's an increase of 44,000 extra jobs in the last 6 weeks from when we last updated our figures that are out there, and 5 times the number of people things. So while the economy is opening up, people have actually got choices as to what jobs they're going to be applying for as well.
Yeah, so if you look at those numbers, May last year there were like 43,000 jobs being advertised. September this year there were 179,000 jobs being advertised. Now we're at 224,000 jobs, and there is competition for workers. So if you can bring them on and give them the opportunity
to do some extra training, join with us and you'll get a formal qualification and a professional development program that we've implemented for you. They're looking for something different. What's different between you and somebody else as well?
I think as employers for years, we've been able to basically just kind of buy a person off the shelf and go, okay, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it's like, I want someone who has these 7 skills, and you just go and find them. At the moment, realistically, you're not going to be able to do it. You have to grow your own people. So you're going to have to hire somebody with gaps and then train them and fill the gaps.
And in the training, we can do that with them as you coming through. Just let us know what sorts of other things that they need. and you provide extra resources. And within our resource library, we've got like 146 different short courses on all of the skills that soft skills that they would need to learn and things like that too, that we can let them have access to.
On top of their existing.
On top of their existing. So,
okay, so speaking of existing, there are two groups of employees that can do this program for people who are brand new to this. There are some courses that your existing workers can do, and you'll explain the definition shortly of existing worker, and then some that are for new hires. But the new hire thing is actually quite broad. So if you don't have anyone for this existing, stick around and listen to the new thing.
New thing, yes.
But the existing one has been tightened up because people have been taking advantage of it. And so these are the two courses that Global Training has that are available for existing workers. Do you want to just explain those?
Yeah, so the first one is workplace health and safety, and the next slide will go into a bit more about workplace health and safety. So you can be doing work now. Again, think very broadly on this, and keep in mind for all employers and people in HR, all of the new risk management that you have to do for COVID safety plans, mental health, all come under WHS. So yeah, to have people trained in your WHS in your business is imperative at the moment. And we can't stress that enough. If you are from Victoria, and if the other states go exactly like Victoria have put into Parliament last week that the fine will be, if you are not implementing your COVID safety plans and everything, which falls straight into your WHS stuff, $455,000 fines for the business.
Anne's wearing her employer hat as well as her race hat.
Yeah, my race hat, my business owner hat. Yeah, $455,000. I don't have $455,000 as a business owner, but I can certainly find somebody to look at putting on the training program to understand what on earth it is that I'm supposed to be doing, so I don't get one of those fines. So, having
said that, though, there are some restrictions out there.
There are restrictions as to who they're going to let in. So the other one I'll cover very quickly, and we'll come back to workplace health and safety. If you happen to be in civil construction or a council, or you're a construction company that does some civil construction, keep in mind that the certificate in civil construction supervision and operations is part of this program for your existing workers. So that covers any one of your leading hand supervisors, project managers, foremen, superintendents, estimators, anyone that's out there and about on the job site, then that program is really great. And
so that's fairly straightforward. If you're civil construction
or council, just talk to us. We run group sessions for companies and different things like that as well.
Okay, so the work health and safety is the broader one.
It is the broader one.
If you're applying for an existing worker though, can you just explain to us what are the limitations, what's allowed and what's not allowed?
Yeah, okay, so it must relate to your job, whether it be a part-time or a full-time sort of role. We have just got on the screen here, this just shows, these are the slips that come back in to show that you are eligible and that we're getting approvals through. So there is this tiny little appendix for existing workers, and on that appendix we've got the workplace health and safety and the civil construction courses. So it's a rigid project. We've got people approved every state, and all sorts of businesses, which we'll cover that one as well.
Now, I don't think, no, in this slide we haven't got the detail, as in the updaters. We don't have the slide here about the detail of workplace health and safety.
Right.
Because it's brand new, it's in an update and it hasn't made it into this yet. So do you just want to just briefly talk a little bit more about what the expectations would be on an employer if they're going to put someone onto the safety?
Okay, so if you're looking at putting someone onto the safety, expect that you're going to have to explain the job role of that person, whether that's going to be in a letter if you're in Queensland, or otherwise when you meet with the apprenticeship mob, they're going to want to know what are the job duties that your person is doing involved in safety. Now, it can be either part-time, so you put them on a part-time traineeship, but we still receive the up to $28,000 for them on the wage subsidy. So it's basically the people that you will most likely be able to get approved are people that are either writing safety full-time, so writing policies, procedures, systems, so your HR person that does writes your safety things on your COVID risk management plans and everything, your admin administration managers for that, or all of your supervisors. So if they are supervising somebody else and other people, and then safety is part of that they're supervising or that they're training WHS within there, then that is going to be liable to be able to be either a part-time or a full-time. So these are some of the sorts of words. So have a think about your people, especially if you're, got supervisors, okay, that they apply hierarchy of controls to workplace risks. They implement risk assessment matrices for COVID and other workplace risks. They identify, record and report hazards, accidents, injuries and health issues. They train other people in safety things. So lots of manufacturing companies, you might be having pre-start meetings and things in the morning. They conduct health and safety training sessions with management. They develop WHS plans and monitor compliance. They inspect the workplace and related tools and equipment to ensure compliance with regulations and safety things. We used to own a childcare centre, and we would have people going around to check, 2 and 3 times a day before those children went back outside, that the playground was all safe. Right. Yes, because we did it for children as well as the adults and things like that. And workplace health and safety, there was lots of bending, so there was all sorts of workplace health and safety stuff.
So I feel like we've probably jumped into the more complicated stuff first. We've gone into existing workers, and I think we should move on to the new workers stuff. Yeah. But just basically, if you're to summarise, if you need somebody trained in workplace health and safety in your business, there's an opportunity now to put one of your existing workers through and get some funding for it. It is quite complicated, and some of the eligibility criteria are quite strict. So the simplest thing would be just to have a chat with you about
have a chat with us. We'll cover at the end. So yes, it's still eligible for your existing workers. We just need to work together on that. But keep it in mind that yes, every business owner needs to be looking at it. And if you're in Queensland, every business needs a WHOSO, which needs a cert for a workplace health.
Yeah, true. It's actually mandatory now that your WHOSO's got a workplace health
and safety certificate. So yeah, talk with us there. But yeah, more exciting that we've got some new workers and different things. So keep in mind that yes, it's ridgy-didgy. Yes, we've got employees in all states. And for anybody new, so let's have a look at your new workers.
So separate opportunity, new workers, of which there's quite a few criteria for that, and there's a whole range of courses that they can do.
Oh yeah,
and it's reasonable. It's pretty straightforward to get these ones approved.
Yeah, really, yes, much simpler. Okay, so this is for anybody that you are looking at putting on, or that you have already hired. So if you've already hired them and they've been with you less than 90 days, less than 3 months, or part-time less than 12 months. So these are the people that you identify first.
So basically, if you've hired, what are we now, November? So if you've hired anybody since August this year, full-time, or since November last year, part-time, you can go back now and sign these ones off.
Absolutely. So chat to us about those people and let's get them on and going. Now with it, and then part-timers, anyone you've upgraded as well.
Right, so if you've got a casual and you've made them part-time, or you're going to make them part-time or full-time, or part-time is being upgraded. So basically, anyone whose employment status is either being upgraded or they've been with you for less than 3 months or 12 months, depending on. So there's quite a few. And anyone else that you hire from now until when?
Till the end of March. So if you've got any of those 240 whatever thousand jobs on that seek waiting list at the moment, they are all people that you are, for those jobs to be able to bring them onto a wage and get a wage subsidy for them. So you might want to pop another job up there as well, because you'll get up to half their wages paid.
Yeah, so you don't hire one, you can hire two. And it's going to cost you the same.
Absolutely. So if you're looking at, at the moment. Also, now this does not work for casuals. So if you've got a job ad at the moment and you're looking for casual staff, have a think about whether or not you could actually put them on as a part-timer.
They don't have to be permanent, do they? They can just be for a 12-month contract.
It can be a 12-month contract, and as long as it's sort of more than 15 hours a week, they can be part-time. Because I always recommend putting my business owner hat on again to be talking to IR specialists when you're employing casuals, because are they really going to be casual, or actually are they part-timers that you're going to have to potentially go back and pay sick leave and holiday for and everything over in the future anyway?
Yeah, so let's just recap that because that's important. If you're hiring casuals at the moment, then there's always that question of, are they genuine casuals, or are you going to have to go back and pay them holiday
pay them stuff? And get into all those arguments later that's going to just cost you as a business owner lots of sleepless nights.
You could hire someone probably for the same hours and put them on part-time. So you've got to average 15 hours a week. So you've got to do 60 hours a month. If you're going to hire a casual for 60 hours a month, you could make them a part-timer instead, and you'll get a 50% wage subsidy.
You'll get a 50% wage subsidy. You'll get a lot more loyalty in your employees.
And you should hopefully keep them for 12 months because they're studying while they're working with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Melanie and I were at a restaurant last week, and and we're talking to a casual employee, And that, let's just say,
Is it scary? This is the casual employee that told the customers that she was leaving the next day, but hadn't told the boss that she was a casual and she could.
And she was casual and she could, and she was telling us. So it was, yeah.
Like part-timer where they have to give you some notice might not be a bad thing. Sorry, I forgot about that. We've got a quick question. Civil construction, just back to the existing worker thing for a moment. What does that comprise? Residential building and renovations, is that included?
Okay, so civil construction is working on the ground, and so if you're actually clearing and doing a land development for that beforehand, is usually covered. If you're
so it's the site works kind of
it's
stuff.
the site work stuff, yeah. If you're actually building the actual building, then probably look at the workplace health and safety.
Yeah, good point. And if you're doing renovations inside a house?
Inside the house, again, no. Your new workers look at project management and some other great courses that we've got there.
So drop your questions in, people, because I know that we're throwing a lot of information at you at once. But there is a significant opportunity right now in the new employees side of it.
Yeah.
If you're hiring, you can hire more people, cost you the same amount of money, upskill them. There are some
and projects. Look, having sat on Janine's webinar the other day, we have to go back and think about what is our customer, memories going to be? How are we going to deal? What does the customer expect now? Are people actually, if you're in places like Queensland, are they actually going to be coming out of their houses, or do they still want click and collect and home deliveries? We really have to look at all this whole thing. It's a whole new world out there at the moment. And if you can put on an extra person to actually help you brainstorm it, and we'll get you online, or all of those sorts of things.
Which you've done, haven't you? You've put on extra staff to do extra sort of customer support type projects and things. Well, you've actually put on an extra person to help people navigate through the system.
So really just start thinking about, who else there. Now it is a wage rebate to keep in mind, because you have to pay for them for the first quarter before the government will rebate you the money back. So the government doesn't pitch into their wages. So just do keep cash flow in mind, but it is a great program over the 12 months.
Okay, another question on the existing worker thing, and this is Julianne.
Hi, Julianne.
Said we do playscapes you'll know this because you used to own childcare centres.
Yes.
We do playscapes in childcare centres and schools. This involves hard and soft landscaping. So would this be included in civil?
Have a chat with us again later. It may be difficult to cover that because, it really is looking at earthworks and alternative energy things and big projects.
And schools, though, so it depends on the scale.
But if you're in and out of the schools and everything, you've got a very good, workplace health and safety. Yeah,
true. So worth having a chat to see if there's something in there. And if not, if you've got...
We can have a look at it, though. Yeah.
Contractors that you can put on a 12-month, whatever, there'll be some opportunities in there somewhere, probably. Someone said, missed the answer, please reconfirm. If you don't mind asking the question again so I know which answer we missed, we'll make sure we cover that. Okay, Julianne said, we do the earthworks to be able to do the landscape works.
All right, so what we'll be able to do, Julianne, is set you up with a quick chat with one of our trainers from Civil and see whether or not your people can fit into the assessments.
Okay. All right, let's keep going back. Keep asking questions and we will come back to them, promise. So for new employees, there's a whole lot of different courses.
There is all sorts of great courses for your new people to fit it into closely to their job roles, and that will add benefit to your business.
So which ones are people doing the most of at the moment from what you've seen?
Okay, so in certificate 4 level, we've actually got quite a few people doing entrepreneurship and new business, and they're looking at the marketing of their companies and growing the business.
So if you're a small business and you've got like an office admin person
they're helping develop
some social media and some marketing and a bit of sales. And
they're coming onto there. That was a surprise one. We've actually got a lot of people doing leadership management, supervisory, training their supervisors and their managers. So Cert 4 in business, very popular. And again, projects, everyone's running projects as we're coming out of pandemic and things.
So the diploma of leadership and management is suitable for
all states.
Your middle managers as well, isn't it? So if you've got engineers or professionals or physiotherapists or whatever, and you can be a really good physiotherapist, but you're not necessarily a good manager of people.
Doing leadership management is really popular. Project management is very popular. So there's quite a few in there, but probably leadership management, business and project management would be our most popular.
Okay, our person, thank you for reminding me, anonymous attendee. The question was about the definition of civil construction, residential building and renovations, etc. So the answer was
civil construction is where you're actually moving earth, water, railways, bridges, dams,
big things.
It's usually big things. In the residential, we have worked on civil construction on people with building subdivisions.
But if you're renovating a bathroom, no. Okay. All right. Hopefully that clarified it, if it didn't. Right. So what does it cost though? Because it's all very fine saying you're going to get all these skills and you're going to get a wage subsidy, but if you have to pay out more for the course than what you get in the wage subsidy, that's not going to work.
All right. So let me know. So it depends on what state you're in. So if you happen to be in New South Wales, we say thank you very much to the New South Wales government. Anyone that you're putting on new there, it is free. New South Wales government is paying for your course cost.
So that's basically anyone who's full-time less than 90 days or part-time less than 12 months, you don't pay anything at all?
No. And
is there like an employer contribution or something?
No. So you'll actually keep the $28,000 for that.
And thank you, New South Wales government.
We do say thank you, New South Wales government. If you're working from construction industry in Queensland, we say thank you to the CSQ, Construction Schools Queensland, who subsidise their course costs there as well.
Okay, so worst case scenario, if you had to pay full fee for the course, then it's like 5,000 to 7,000 most of it.
It is, generally speaking, 5,000 to 7,000. Honestly, say we have not changed our fees for the last 3 years. I think it is.
Probably time you did.
So we're not ripping this off at all. It is our normal course fees that people pay and what New South Wales government.
Actually, interesting. I have been hearing some stories about some RTOs under this back program have like doubled their fees, and there's all sorts of. Anyway, there's always stuff going on.
But yeah, so here we're not.
Normal fees, and whether you do the course under this program or whether you maybe you have two people that you want to put on, one is eligible, one's not. You could use some of your surplus money to pay for the second one and you'll pay the same fees for both.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, there is no difference there. And we have a lot of people that are putting, because the big question is, can business owners do it? The answer is no, but what the business owners are doing, what a lot of business owners and HR people working with us, is that they've got some of their other team on, their new staff or existing staff on with us, and they're using that wage rebate to actually upskill themselves and to get courses that new qualifications that they want.
So yeah, so it gives you a training budget, doesn't it?
It does. So it gives you a training budget. If you've never had a training budget, this may be one that you can get. But look, for ease of simplicity, just go $20,000 per person, and then it will always give you a better story.
Yeah, so that's minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, so logistically though, how do you actually go about claiming this rebate and doing this thing, right? What is the process?
Okay, so process it works is that you have a chat with us. First, we give you a Google sheet, which we just work together on. It just makes life simple and smooths out communication.
Anne really likes her Google sheet. Tell us about the Google sheet, Anne.
Okay, so what we're going to give you is a Google sheet that has all of a little tab for everything. So if you've got people in 3 states, we give you a tab about New South Wales, Western Australia and Tasmania. And there's all these little funny little things because there's different qualifications in each state.
And they've all got slightly different rules.
And they all have different rules and everything. So we can just communicate together. We'll wipe out the other ones. And when we're talking with you, we will know to talk to you about Western Australia, Tasmania, and whatever the other one was I just said. So it also allows us to brainstorm the types of people that you've got. We can write down their job descriptions that we're going to need, all the information.
So if you kind of fill out who you've got that you think might be eligible and some details about them, then you can brainstorm with the employer and actually go, yeah, that one would be eligible. No, I don't think that one would be, but this one could be. And you can actually, so they're not actually committing at that point. They're just working out what's possible.
And it allows us to keep tracking through on their enrolment, as well as what claims that you've made for the wage subsidy. So it's just a really simple sheet that allows communication so simply for us to work together.
Okay, so you do all that, then what do you do?
Okay, so then what happens is you get registered with the apprenticeship people, because they're administering the program for the government, and then we get these little forms back, and it says, hi, Global Training, will you please take on Sally to do a Diploma of Leadership and Management? Okay, so then what happens is at the end of each course, so we organise you to be working with, we work with Sally and do all her training. At the end of each quarter, you put up Sally's wage slips, and the government will pay half of it back up to $7,000. And you will probably have a little letter that says now that you were actually wanting Sally to participate in training, and you didn't do it just to get some money.
And one thing to be bearing in mind is that there's so many people doing this now that things have really slowed down. So it's a wage rebate, which means you need to have the cash flow to pay your people up front.
Yeah.
And then you'll get it back, but they can be a little bit slow in paying it back. But I've found, like from wearing my employer's hat, when I chase them, they pay it.
Right.
But you do need to be prepared that, you won't necessarily come in on day 14. You might actually have to ring them up, go, where's my money?
Right, okay. But you'll be able to, if you just use the sheet that we've given you, you'll be able to track when you put it in and where you're up to as well. Okay, so so it has been working for 14 days. We do just recommend getting quick while it's the opportunity is still there. That's the thing.
So let's talk about the training side of it. Because the money is nice, but the money, as you said, will last short term, but hopefully the benefits of the training will be long term. So you guys have been doing distance learning for a decade or more.
Yeah.
Since well before the pandemic. And it's not, you don't just chuck some PDFs online and go, here's your course. Can you just talk through how it actually works?
Yeah. So this is Wendy. Wendy threw her photo in for one of our graduations earlier in the year. She was a 2010 student with us, and she's done lots of other courses since then. So it's 2021. So Wendy's been around with us 11 years. One of the guys that came back the other day is on this particular program, and he was a 2009 student. So, 12 years ago, did some courses with us, and is back on, still remembers his textbook that he's got, was talking to me about how he'd been using it in his new management role. So it's really exciting. So the method that we've been working with people have actually lasted the distance as well. So it's a one-on-one training program, unless you've got groups of people, and then we can arrange trainers to Zoom in. So tomorrow we've got a group of, I think, 12 people happening with one of the companies, and the trainer will Zoom in, and they're all working together. So you don't have to go to workshops or off-site class attendance. It's online access to 24/7. Now we can give you access to have a look at a sample portal that the students will be working from. Their assessments are all work-based projects and things that they'll do. So they'll be using your company policies and procedures and systems to actually do their assessments and work-based tasks. So it's very, very practical. We have tutorials with Zoom. So on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, evenings, the trainer's available, and people are happily working on their assessments. And if they've got a question, they just pop it in the chat or have it, and the trainer talks to them through their questions. So it's great support there. They get time with a regular phone session with their trainers, as well as their completion coach. And the completion coach can help them work through, sorts out any issues, and chats to them about life at the moment.
So the completion coach thing is actually something that is quite different from other providers.
Yeah.
And they're like an extra position that you've put on to support the students. It's not a requirement or anything, is it?
No.
Can you give us some examples of the sort of things that they do for students, like how it works?
Yeah, so the completion coaches will sort out any office issues. If you've got any questions or anything, if you've got any questions for the trainer, if you've got any need extra motivation to actually keep going on your course, your completion coach is there. They'll help set goals with the people. They will brainstorm ideas for any of the assessments. They won't tell you what to be right, but it allows you, they ask questions that you can think about. And they become actually a friend to the people, because a lot of places over the last 2 years now, with mental health and issues at work and everything, it's amazing what they will tell the completion coach and clear out of their brain, and then they can actually work on.
They can actually focus on their job
and their course and everything extra. So it's very much confidential. So what do they actually talk about with their completion coach? I have no idea, because the completion coach doesn't tell me. But yeah, the completion coaches send out cards and different things, and they just become very much an integral part of the journey of the students.
Actually, in relation to that, Julianne's got a good question. We have a supervisor who's dyslexic. Do you assist these people with their courses? Okay, so yes. So what we can do is that with depending what severity, again, you'll chat with us and look at their courses, but we can, the trainers can actually interview people over the phone. So they don't have to write down their answers if they're not able to do that. Yes, we have. We teach everybody, because we work with lots of from construction industry, voice to text. Either on the grab your phone and you keep a little button, or we teach them how to use Google Drive, and again the button there, voice to text on there, voice to text on Google Drive sheets. Are you a reseller for Google or something? Don't ask me about iPhones or anything, but I do. You can use my computer. But yeah, so there's things like that. Now there's also, if they've got reading things, there is fabulous pens that you scroll across, and on the words, so you print out your assessments and your training material, and the pen reads it to you. Right. So basically, yes, if somebody has any kind of whether it's a disability or they're just not neurotypical and they need some support, then you have systems in place to support people. And if you happen to be in New South Wales, then just register that, and the government actually provide extra dollars and support for that too, if you've got new employees and you're in New South Wales. New South Wales government is very supportive there. Very good. Okay, so just, oh, look, there's pictures from the before times when people
They're
were in
before
groups
times.
together.
But guess what? This is the bottom one, and that is exactly what's still happening now. The difference is that your trainer will zoom in, can see your people there, and yeah, it still works just like that.
Now, compared to the beginning of last year when no one had heard of Zoom, everyone's kind of sick of Zoom now. And I don't think people just want to sit there and have a trainer talk at them for hours on Zoom. So do you want to explain how you use Zoom for this stuff?
Yeah, so basically I can show you a video. So you'll see in the top right-hand corner there that they're doing the activities. We can still do activities. The trainer just explains from here and can see them, and we've got videos of how it all works. So I've got a video called Making Change Stick, that's about implementing change in your organisation.
And it's a recording of students actually doing one of these activities.
Doing some of the activities. But otherwise, we've got others that will bring in their assessments that are either they'll have printed out, or if they're laptopy, they'll work with their laptops. And
explain about the Zoom room thing that we're doing.
Okay, yeah, so the Zoom room thing is where the trainer's available, yeah, a couple of afternoons a week, and everyone works again like on their assessments in the things. So some of the companies got all their people working on assessments, others are individuals, and then the trainer's there and you can ask the questions while you're actually, so you know that you've got support there, and then when you want
so even if you've only got one person on a course, you can still send them along to those sessions.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And they're just, yeah, available. And if the trainer can't help you that's in that room there, they'll set up, yeah, and arrange for an appointment time with you and your trainer.
So basically there's lots of support. Okay.
Lots of support.
So the other thing that people worry about is, what if I pay this money for the course and then I don't get approved for the wage subsidy?
Okay, yeah. We run a risk-free guarantee. We've been here for 16 years. We're not doing anything new. We're planning on being here for the next 16 years as well. So what we do is we work with you to get your application in. When you get your approvals here, then we will be looking at either, we won't be invoicing you or anything. We do get company approvals through to know, and purchase orders and different things, but we don't action anything until you've been approved for your wage subsidy.
So basically, if you don't get approved, you don't have to continue.
Yeah, and then we still run our normal risk-free guarantee that, for the first 3 weeks, that if you get in there and decide the course is just not what you're expecting and not anything, then we fully refund any money back to you as well.
Now we're just about to wrap up, so if anyone's got any other questions, just pop them in quickly, otherwise we're going to be getting close to doing more bad horse jokes. So what do people need to do? Okay,
so send us an email at Wage Subsidy. Now if you're interested, or even potentially thinking that, hey, there might be something in it for you on your team, then give us a quick email at Wage Subsidy. We will set you up with your own account manager. So that's just somebody here in the office that will work through this whole process with you
and help you figure out whether it's appropriate for you to even do anything.
Yes, and help you get, if you're in Queensland and you need a letter for something or whatever, they'll help you organise all of that through. So yeah, they're just your friend that will help you solve these issues and get you through.
So you would, even if you're not sure whether you want to do it, probably the next step is to talk to the account manager, and then you'll know for sure, really.
Yeah, and then you'll know, because again, we then go offline and we sort of do it privately for you and your company.
Okay, perfect. And of course you don't pay anything until you're approved. So does anybody have any last questions? If not, I'm very afraid, I don't think we have any more questions, so I'm very afraid that Anne's going to tell you another joke and clear the room. Is there anything you want to say just to wrap up for that?
No, so just keep in mind this program is real. People still say, Anne, it sounds too good to be true. It is just good. It's a good program.
We're living in a topsy-turvy world right now, aren't we, where government's going, we'll pay for that.
And they do want to support you. So while the government's out there, and so if your business is looking at bringing on any new staff, or you can change your casuals up to being part-time or permanent, then,
or you weren't looking at bringing new staff, but
now you can. Definitely look at it, work with our account managers, and let's just see if you can boost your business, and in 12 months time look back and say that was just a great decision for our company. But it will get really busy. The other thing we didn't mention on this webinar is that if you're concerned coming into Christmas, we are saying to everybody, get your paperwork done, but if you don't want to start your training until next year.
Yes, because you've got 3 months from when the person starts to get them signed up.
Yes.
And then you've got 3 months from when they're signed up to get started on the course.
So if it's going to suit you to start better at the end of January for your training, or the middle of January,
then you can get the ball rolling now.
Definitely get the ball rolling now, get the paperwork done. Then you won't have to think about it, and you can start fresh.
Because the other thing that we haven't mentioned is that when this runs out at the end of March, we expect there's going to be a mad scramble, and people may end up missing out. because we don't know yet whether, if you've got your, because there's at least a month's delay in processing applications in most states. And if you've got your application in by the end of March and it hasn't been processed, we don't know yet whether it's actually going to be able to be done. So basically, sooner the better if you're
looking at it. Yeah, that's our recommendation totally, is just to, to get it in.
And from everything we're hearing, it's not going to be extended.
Right, so we've got no indication of it being extended at the moment. If there is, we will certainly let you know. So like the webinar, and we keep everybody informed as well. So the webinar we've just done before this one just now was actually updates of people that we're either currently working with for any changes and things like that as well.
So yeah, we'll keep you posted if anything dramatic changes, but if you're thinking about it, have a chat. Yeah,
have a chat, book in with your account manager, grab a Google sheet, and let's just see if the opportunity is going to suit you. So on all of that note,
here we go. So everybody feel free to leave because Anne's going to tell you another joke.
Oh, we've got to find another joke of our horse one. Okay. Where do horses go when they are sick? To the hospital.
Oh, see, they're leaving. One's left. People are leaving.
Oh, a quick Melly one for you.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, my joke of everyone goes, a pony went to the doctor complaining about having a sore throat. The doctor said, it's okay, you're just a little horse.
Okay.
No, stop.
No. What's a horse's favourite TV show? Neighbours, of course.
Thank you, everybody. We should put them out of their misery, let them go now.
All right, it's a great opportunity. Check it out, and look forward to working with you very soon.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. And if you are going out today for lunch or anything, have a great lunch out. Bye.